Asian Midday Market Watch. It's the 18th of September and I'm Brian Fernandez. Let's start by taking a look at summary of market action in the first half of the day. Now, for a start, overnight in the US, the S&P 500 notched an intraday higher than on the day at 5,634.58. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.04% to close at 41,606.18 after touching fresh record in the session. The Nasdaq Composite added 0.2% to 17,628.06. Now, Wall Street assessed the latest retail changes, sales, which rose 0.1% in August from the previous month, compared to the Reuters poll forecast expectation of 0.2% decline. Now, over in Asia Pacific today, gains on Wall Street. Investors await the Federal Reserve rate decision due today and assessed also economic data from Japan. Indonesian central bank rate decision is also out later today. Now, Japan's imports and exports in August rose 2.3 and 5.6% respectively from a year ago, according to Japan's Ministry of Finance, both missing the Reuters poll estimates of 13.4% and 10% growth. Japan's private sector machinery orders in July declined 0.1% from the previous month. Now, this is according to data from the Cabinet Office, missing Reuters estimates of a 0.5% increase. Bank of Indonesia is also set to meet today on a key rate decision. The policy has cooled to well within the central bank's 1.5 to 3.5% target. Australia's S&P 500, S&P ASX 200 slipped slightly as well, snapping a 4-day winning streak that sent the index to a record high on Tuesday. Japan's Nikkei index also rose 0.74%. Now, mainland China's CSI 300 was nearly flat after closing at its lowest level since January 2019 on Friday. Now, Taiwan's weighted index fell 0.35%. South Korea and Hong Kong markets are closed today, while markets in mainland China will resume trading after a nationwide 3-day holiday. Now, that's it for today's market updates. Now, to give us insights into market action, we have our guest today, Phan Vee Leung, founder and CIO of TrackRecord Trading Academy. Vee, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi, Brian. It's good to be here. Let's talk about markets.
Okay, Vee, talking about markets, what markets are looking at today is really the Fed rate decision out later tonight. What's your take on it, especially given the fact that it's almost baked in that a rate cut is due? It's just a question of the quantum.
Yes, exactly right. The Fed will almost certainly cut interest rates. In fact, actually, it's very certain that they will cut interest rates later today. It's just a matter of whether they do it by 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, or 0.5%. And the decision is hanging in a balance. I think it's been quite some time since we have such an uncertain outcome. They have not yet they did not telegraph ahead of time how much they will be cutting. And since the media blackout they've been under, which is usually 2 weeks before the policy meeting, we have seen some data which has convinced the market that they are likely to cut by 50 basis points, cutting by a bigger quantum, just to get ahead of the curve and not to play catch up for the rest of the year. So current market pricing from the interest rate futures market shows that the market believes that there's a 65% chance that they will, which is a 2 in 3 chance that they will be cutting by 50 basis points later today.
Okay, then Vee, how is that going to impact emerging markets currencies? We've already seen the strengthening of currencies across the region. Malaysia's ringgit, for example, has strengthened, is the best performing currency among emerging markets, and we haven't seen this in a long time. What's your take on this?
That's exactly right. It's been a while. It's been years since we can actually say that Malaysian ringgit is doing well. But I think it's also reflection of the improving investor outlook. Foreign investors are looking more favorably towards Malaysia because of new government policies, and I believe, and also, of course, yes, the view that U.S. interest rates will be coming lower, will be dropping, has reached its peak. But I think Malaysia is not just outperforming against the US dollar, but against also its peers in the region, partly because it was weakening by a lot in the last few years, and we have seen some stability around these levels. And how will the US interest rate cut affect other currencies going forward? I think the biggest impact will be seen in the Japanese yen. We have divergence in monetary policy between Japan and the US. In Japan, they are talking about hiking interest rates further, and it's just a matter of time actually before the Bank of Japan decides to hike interest rates higher in the weeks and months ahead. While in the US, the debate is not now is not if they should cut, it is how much they should cut by and how fast they should cut by. I believe they will see the continued unwinding of carry trades, which are trades that are funded in yen because of the low interest rates to invest in higher interest rates financial instruments such as U.S. Treasury bonds. In fact, some U.S. stocks as well, higher risk financial products. But this has been going on for years, and it will take months, if not years, to unwind as well.
Now, finally, V, you're a crypto guy. Tell us about the impact of these rate cuts that's going to have on the crypto market.
Okay, so I think it is quite clear that interest rates have peaked in the US and will continue to drop. And I've said this several times before, when the Fed cut interest rates, they will tend to cut more and faster than the market expects, and more and faster than they themselves expect, because I think the markets tend to overshoot as well. Inflation now is in the 2 handle, and before long, I think if the current trend of economic data is seen, inflation will undershoot the 2% target. It will go below 2% target, and they will start to worry about being too far behind the curve. And in an environment of decreasing interest rates, we are seeing risk sentiment improve. Currently, we have interest rates that are not yet has not been cut, but as you mentioned earlier, Dow Jones made intraday highs yesterday. We are seeing Nasdaq, S&P close to all-time highs as well. We will see risk assets continue to do well in this environment. And cryptos, which have been stabilizing for the past few months, have also tailwinds from on the political front. Both the candidates for the US presidential elections that's coming in November have been on record as being quite favorable to the cryptos. Donald Trump, in fact, is very favorable to the cryptocurrencies. He himself has launched his NFT project. He's raising funds from the cryptocurrency sector. So we will see more regulation, more favorable regulation towards the cryptocurrencies. And Donald Trump has said also he wants to make the US a key player in the crypto space instead of letting other nations take the lead, because he believes this is something that's going to be here to stay. And we have seen ETFs, not just in Bitcoin, but also in Ether. And we will likely see more cryptocurrencies being included in exchange traded funds going forward. So the story is not just about decreasing interest rates and a more favorable environment for risk assets, but also in crypto specifically, we're seeing a more favorable political environment, regulatory environment, as well as continued mainstream adoption. So I think the long-term trend continues, and we're going to see more participants, more investors in the space, and likely, yes, the volatility will continue to be high, but the trend will remain what it has been for years, which is upward trend.
Now, on that note, Vee, thank you very much for your insights. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We've been speaking to Phan Vee Leung. He's the founder and CIO of TrackRecord Trading Academy. This has been BizTech's Asian Midday Market Watch. Be sure to keep informed on the latest market updates weekdays at 1 p.m. I'm Brian Fernandez. This show will be on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and websites. Thanks a lot for tuning in.